Earlier when you were talking about your mother doing that piecework, you got emotional about that. What's behind that? What were you thinking or feeling when you had that image of your mom doing that piecework?
Well, she was making crepe paper. I have a poem about that. She was making crepe paper flowers for the American Legion. And the American Legion, of course, was represented a very patriotic organization. So it was so ironic that we were living in a very poor south side of Chicago, and an apartment where we shared a bathroom with 3 other tenants. And she would make sure that I had 2 dresses to go to school in, and she made sure every day that she'd wash my dress, that I'd have a clean dress to wear to school, because she was proud, and she didn't want her daughter to look dirty. And I remember one Christmas, we were so poor, and gosh, this really dates me, but I don't know if anyone knows who Sonia Haney is, but back in the day, in the 40s, she was a movie star, ice skater, and they made a doll of Sonia Haney, and she was a blonde, and she was beautiful, and I said, "Oh, I want a Sonia Haney doll, Mommy. And I would beg her and beg her, and so I found this Sonia Haney doll under this little tree that we had, and she was so beautiful, and I just loved her so much, and I thought, wow, if I cut her hair and pasted it onto my hair, maybe my hair will grow blonde." So I cut her hair and pasted it on my hair, and my mother was really angry with me, but it was, that was so symbolic, of how I already at the age of 5 or 6, that I internalized this self-hatred. And I think that is what happens and I've been part of many coalitions, women of color, writers of color, etc., as well as people at Glide of many, many different races and ethnicities and cultures. And I would say that something that was very common for the women of color when we were organizing anthologies and so forth in the 70s and 80s, that was a very common thread, that we all shared that sense of unworthiness and self-hatred. And I will say to this day that the women and the children who are trafficked in our streets, who are women of color, are put out there by their parents, and they are addicted to that life because they feel worthy of nothing better.